Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to Rule of Two Review. This is Rob, and today let's talk about Tomb Raider. So I'm sure a lot of us are familiar with the whole situation surrounding Rise of the Tomb Raider, which was revealed last year at Gamescom to be an exclusive for the Xbox One coming out this year, 2015. But of course, the way some of the wording was, it wasn't really quite clear what that meant that the game was going to be, again, exclusive, quote-unquote, for the Xbox One. It sort of seemed that it was being hinted at as a vague exclusivity, so potentially a timed exclusive, or maybe the game was up still for purchase by Sony or PC or anyone else to release that game on their platform. So there was a lot of debate for a couple of months. Phil Spencer said that they never necessarily said it was always going to be exclusive to the Xbox One, but wouldn't speak anymore on the topic. And eventually it kind of came to light that really the game was only going to be a timed exclusive. Now, for how long, no one knew. Everyone wondered about when is this game going to be released on the PS4 and the PC. Of course, we knew that there was never a chance of it coming out on the Wii U, which is too bad, but, you know, it is what it is. We're all used to that. So the game was coming out for Xbox One. We knew that it was a timed exclusive. We knew no other details other than that. And it was a big deal at the time. If anyone can remember now, going back a year, everyone collectively lost their shit over the fact that this game was snatched up as an exclusive or even a temporary exclusive, which is something that I couldn't get behind, because you've heard me mention this a couple of times. I fully believe in the console exclusive, or just the platform exclusive, I should say. That even includes PC stuff. I mean, I think that exclusive games are fantastic for a couple of reasons. One is it's exclusive games and exclusive libraries that really sell the consumer on that platform. That is literally the identity of a platform, is the exclusive content, like the end. Yes, when it comes to consoles, you can debate, oh, well, my Netflix player on my system is better than the Netflix player on your system, and all these other things. And you can also have, like, the cross-game chat and stuff like that. And there's a little bit more of an argument there for sure. But in general, features are one thing, and they matter, but they don't really matter. It's games that matters. It's the libraries that matters, and it's that exclusive content that you can only play on any system that makes a difference. It's why Nintendo and the Wii U are my favorite company and platform, because even though the Wii U can't do something that some of the competition can do, it sure as shit has the best exclusive library. And to me, that's where my gaming dollar is going to go to first and foremost, even though I do own and support my PlayStation, my Xbox, and my PC. The other reason that I really believe in exclusives is because typically exclusive games are going to run better and be a better example of what any given platform can actually do. If you take an exclusive game for the Xbox One or the Wii U, you better believe that you could get more out of that game and out of the power under the hood of that platform than if that game would have released across all systems. You can get a game that looks and plays better on the Xbox One, or yes, even the Wii U, than you could over a multi-platform PlayStation 4 game. Sorry. Now again, a game made exclusively for the PlayStation 4 very much is going to have the potential to look and play better than any of the console competition, because the PlayStation 4 is more powerful and more capable than the Xbox One or the Wii U, obviously. But once you start looking at exclusive content, it's amazing what really talented developers are able to do with a machine once they know how to work, inside and out within the confines of that architecture, and really take full advantage of the power of whatever that box happens to be. The best Wii U games are going to be the exclusive ones. Those are the ones that look next gen and can stand up next to a lot of games on the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One. The PlayStation 4 is going to make a game that even the Xbox One would never be able to play, and only the PC would be able to perform better. And same with the PC. I mean, anything made exclusively for the PC would have the ability to be completely unplayable on any of the consoles, because you focus and dedicate it only to the components and the architecture of that platform. You get a better game. That's the long and the short of it. Is I think you typically will get better games out of exclusive games. So I fully love exclusive games, and that's just me, but everyone doesn't feel that way. So last year, when Tomb Raider was an exclusive, a lot of people were so upset, and they felt that it was just really, I don't know, like a backstabbing kind of move, really seedy, undermined kind of thing. It wasn't fair to the gamer and this and that. And to me, man, I just can't get behind that logic. I know a lot of people may feel the same way, and I'm not going to tell anyone that they're wrong. And I certainly understand the idea of, oh, I bought a PlayStation and now I might not be able to play Tomb Raider, so we thought at the time. So I get that that makes people upset, but it's like, that's the way the game is played. And when I say the game, I mean the industry of video games. That's the way the game is played, and it's the way the game has always been played. I don't care if you're going back to the Atari days. I don't care if you're going back to the 8-bit days, which I know predates a lot of the younger gamers out there who are making these complaints. But I'm telling you guys, ever since today's relevant console race started, which began with the Nintendo Entertainment System and the Sega Master System back in the early and mid-80s, it's been about exclusive. It's always been, we're keeping this content exclusive because it doesn't release on the other platforms, especially in the 16-bit era. That's really where the foundations for today's exclusivity combat really was laid. It was back then in the late 80s and early 90s in the 16-bit era. And it was a great time for gaming, actually. I thought that's my favorite generation, and that's one of the reasons. So, you know, of course, I'm kind of getting long in the tooth, as I tend to do here when it comes to the exclusive thing. But the point is, everyone was upset about the console exclusivity. It was then revealed that, hey, it really is a timed exclusive. It's only going to be on the Xbox One for a period of time. Details are coming as far as when it's coming out on other platforms. And so, finally, just a couple of days ago, I am a little bit late to the party on this, it was confirmed that the game will be coming out for the PlayStation 4 and the PC holiday 2016. So there's a full year's worth of exclusivity for Tomb Raider, Rise of the Tomb Raider on the Xbox One, and I think that's great. I think that this is kind of the most perfect scenario. I'm glad that it wasn't like a 2 or 3 month sort of deal, just like for the initial holiday release this year. I think it's November. November 21st or whatever. It's the same day as Fallout 4. So it's November this year for the Xbox One. And I feel like if the game would have then come out in like February the following year, just a couple of months later for the PS4 and PC, I felt like that would have been kind of lame, and it would have sort of defeated the purpose of this game being able to be billed as an exclusive to the Xbox One. You know, I like the idea that this game is exclusive, and even though I know the game may look and play a little bit better on the PlayStation 4 once it's out, I'm still going to pick up the Xbox One version. Like, I want the game as soon as I can get it. I am very fortunate enough to have all 3 systems and a PC, so I don't have to be picky about these things. And it's like, hey, this is a great reason to have an Xbox One. You get Rise of the Tomb Raider. Like, you don't even just get the game first. You get it a year before the competition, and that is so far ahead of the competition that it's a big deal. So it feels like it really is an Xbox One only game for a long time. You'd have to think that by the time the game finally releases on the PlayStation 4 next year, there's going to be a lot of people who would have probably picked it up on PS4 day one who will have picked up either the Xbox One copy or potentially have purchased an Xbox One to play this game. And you know what? That's what Microsoft wants. That's what Microsoft deserves. They went out of their way to make sure that this game could be exclusive for a time. In a perfect world, I would actually rather have it just be flat out an exclusive for the Xbox One. I mean, I think the first Tomb Raider was exclusive to the PlayStation for a while. Eventually, the game started releasing on the Saturn, but I'm pretty sure it was PS1 only at the time. I may be wrong, so if I'm wrong, then you can correct me down below. But regardless, the point is, if a game is exclusive, it's exclusive. If a company pays to have a game exclusive for the life of the game or even temporarily, that's the way it works, man. I don't think that there's anything wrong with that. This is how we should want game companies to be. If you're an Xbox fan, you should be happy that they have this game exclusive for so long. If you're a PlayStation fan and you're mad about it, you should be saying, hey, Sony, what are you doing? You should get more exclusive deals. And you know what? They have, because they have Street Fighter V currently, totally exclusive to the PlayStation 4, and as far as we know, it's for the life of the game and the PC, but it's not going to be coming out on the Xbox One. That may change, but as it stands right now, that game is only PlayStation 4 and PC. So PlayStation fans should say, hey, this is what I want you to do with Tomb Raider. Why didn't you do this? Your company, your favorite company, if that's how you go about gaming, you should be behind them doing everything they can to be aggressive and get games locked down as exclusives. Like, that's a great thing. You want Sony to work with if Sony ends up working with Shenmue 3 and that studio, then hey, maybe that game ends up becoming exclusive to the PlayStation 4, and that's huge because Sony would work with them on that game. Nintendo has done that with so many games. Look at Bayonetta 2 and The Wonderful 101. You know, like, they're working with those studios to make really great third-party games, and they secured it. Devil's Third is a game that they're not working on, but they have secured an exclusive deal, and they snatched that game up a year ago and said, hey, it's no longer coming out on all the systems. It's coming out only on our system because we worked with Valhalla Studios to say this game is a Wii U only game. And that's great. I'm excited for that game because it's exclusive to my favorite platform, and that's going to be fantastic. Rise of the Tomb Raider on the Xbox One, can't wait for it. But you know what? It's still going to be released on the PlayStation 4 in a year. PlayStation fans can be excited. Tomb Raider fans can be excited. Yes, it's going to suck having to wait that long, but, you know, maybe you have to fall into the trap of the game, again, the way the game has always been played, and maybe you have to buy an Xbox if you want to play Tomb Raider 4. if you want to play Tomb Raider beforehand. I know that sucks. Not everyone has disposable income, and I know that that's a challenge, but like I said, I just fall back on that. This is the way it's always been. It's not like this is a new thing. If this was a new practice that was just popping up and all of a sudden it's like, oh my gosh, it's terrible, then I could understand people being upset, and even I myself might be upset at it. But again, man, it's always been this way. Exclusive games exist. That's the way of it. And we should want exclusive games. Do you really want every game to release on every platform? If that was the case, then why would you even care if you have an Xbox or a PlayStation? What would it even matter if you got the same library? The fact of the matter is, if you're a PlayStation or an Xbox or a Nintendo fan, you should be a fan of those companies and their platforms because they have exclusive content. If it was all the same, then it wouldn't frickin' matter. Exclusive content makes the difference. So I know I kind of drudged up an old argument around Tomb Raider with the exclusivity thing, but I think it's part of why this news was made, and I think it kind of fits into the whole aspect of the game comes out this year on Xbox and a full year later on the PlayStation and PC. So it's pretty crazy. Like I said, I was worried that it would come out sooner than later, and I mean, maybe I guess I could see people being mad because it's like, I have an Xbox, so I don't have to wait. But I still think that it's a good thing that it's taking so long to come out on the PlayStation 4. Like, the Xbox One should have a really kick-ass high-profile exclusive, and it's going to be huge for them this holiday. They deserve that success. They went out of their way to work with Square Enix and make sure that this game is exclusive, and I think that they confirmed that the game's going to be running at native 1080p on the Xbox One, and that hasn't happened with a single multi-platform game yet. So that even kind of shows the benefit of having a game that's basically exclusive, being built for the Xbox One architecture from the ground up, is that they can maximize it and check it out. We have the illustrious 1080p, native 1080p game coming out on the Xbox One, and that was probably only made possible by developing it first as an exclusive before making a port for it a year later for the PlayStation 4. So anywho, those are my thoughts. That's what's going on. You know, the game finally announced for the PlayStation 4 next year. So whether you have an Xbox or a PlayStation, get excited because we know the game is coming soon. If you don't want to wait a year, maybe you got to pick up an Xbox One. And if you can't do that, maybe you can borrow a friend's. Who knows? But that's what's going on. I'm pretty excited. Who else is excited for Tomb Raider? Which platform will you be playing it on? Like I said, I'll be picking mine up day one on my Xbox One, and I will be playing that game first on my Xbox One this year, and I am super excited. Thanks as always for tuning in. I always appreciate your fanship and viewership. This, of course, is Rob of Rule of Two Review, and I will catch you guys next time on another video.